Gold just had its worst month since 2008 during a war. What in the, let me say that again, war, and gold dropped. It's easy to look at that and think gold and silver are broken. But what if something much more important was happening just beneath the surface? Because here's the real problem. Most people don't actually understand what gold and silver are anymore. We've been taught to think of them as savings, as a safe haven, as something you run to when things get scary, but that definition is outdated. Gold and silver haven't changed, but the world's understanding of them has, especially over the last 25 years. They're not just pet rocks you buy when things get scary or when the world becomes uncertain. How do I know? Just listen to the banks. All of a sudden, they're telling us your portfolio shouldn't be 60-40 anymore. That's interesting. What happened to the 60-40 portfolio? They didn't announce it loudly. They just quietly moved on from it and now say it should be a 60-20-20 split with metals being 20%. They simply said the quiet part out loud. What their actions are really telling us is that gold and silver have become and are becoming something much more powerful. And if you don't understand that shift, you're going to misread this entire market. Before I give you the first of the 7 key signals, let me just say, what is good, Stackers University? It's so wonderful to have you here with me today. Did you know that every time someone hits a like button on a video, it increases the chances of gold and silver going up next week? Go ahead and hit that like button. Let's start here. Point number 1, pullbacks equal opportunity. This week, I've started to add to my positions, not because I think the exact bottom is in. I actually expect we could roll over one more time, but I'm not here to catch the bottom. I'm here to build the position because this isn't our grandparents' gold and silver anymore. It's something much more. And I'm going to keep showing you that as we go through this list. Last week, I had to have a real conversation with myself, and it became very clear. If we're talking about a move in metals that could be hundreds of percent over a cycle, why am I stressing over another 10 to 20% on the downside? It wasn't that long ago, some of my positions were down 50 to 60%. Compare that to 10%, that's just noise. And this is exactly how people miss the move because they're trying to feel comfortable before they commit. Comfort is expensive in a bull market. Point number 2, the Fed trap and inflation waves. Now let's zoom out because this is where the real game is being played. Inflation doesn't happen all at once. It tends to come in waves, just like we saw in the 70s. Wave 1 is the shock. That's when prices spike and everyone feels it. Wave 2 is persistent. That's right where we are now. Prices don't necessarily explode, but they don't come down either. They just stay there and they're sticky. And then comes wave 3, policy panic. And this is where central banks get trapped because at that point, they only have 2 real options. Option 1, they raise rates, they tighten financial conditions, they slow the economy, they kill demand, and eventually they trigger a recession. And when that happens, gold and silver become more attractive as a so-called safe haven asset again. Option 2, they lower rates, they stimulate the economy, they inject liquidity, but that fuels inflation even more. And when inflation rises, gold and silver rise with it. So here's where we need to be clear. They're not choosing outcomes, they're choosing consequences. And in both scenarios, metals win. There's no clean escape for them, which is why, in a weird way, gold and silver are actually less risky today. Not because they're stable, but because we understand the game now and the likely outcome. This is the part of the cycle where people start second guessing. They were confident when silver was pushing higher. And then we get a pullback and suddenly they get nervous. And again, this is exactly how people miss the move because this right here is the price of admission. If it was easy, I promise you everyone would be doing it. Point number 3, volatility is absolutely the price of admission, as I mentioned. Most people don't lose in bull markets, they lose opportunities because they get shaken out of them. They buy high, they get uncomfortable when things pull back, they hesitate, they second guess, and then right before everything starts to change, they sell. Volatility isn't the problem. It's a feature of the bull market. It's the process. Like I've said before, markets live by the motto of if you can't handle my lows, you don't deserve my highs. The people who win in these cycles are the ones who can hold their positions. And the ones who win big are the ones that are disciplined enough to add when things look risky. And point number 4, and this is the big idea here, gold and silver are not safe anymore. And that doesn't mean that they're dangerous. It means that they're not simple anymore. They haven't stopped being safe. They've stopped being one dimensional. They are no longer just a defensive asset. Now they are participating in capital flows. Now they're being treated like a real asset class. Institutional demand is rising. Central banks are accumulating. Global trust and fiat systems being questioned. This isn't about protection anymore. This is about positioning. Point number 5, and this is really where the shift becomes clear. Metals are becoming more powerful. We've heard people like Buffett and Ramsey critique metals for being boring. They just sit there and they don't do anything and they don't earn a yield. What they don't talk about is how metals have actually performed compared to the 60% of their so-called 60/40 portfolios. They don't acknowledge that since 2000, gold and silver have outperformed both the S&P 500 and the Dow. And if you think I'm cherry picking by starting at 2000, that's fine. Let's go back even further. Let's start from the day after Nixon took us off the gold standard. Look, don't argue with me, argue with the data, because gold has crushed everything. Let that sink in. The quote, boring asset has outperformed everything. Real money has outperformed everything. So let me ask you, do you think there might be a reason central banks started accumulating gold? It's not random, they're positioning. So, what was once thought of as insurance is now becoming something much bigger. It's becoming infrastructure for whatever comes next. And point 6, the real opportunity most people miss. Here's where things get interesting. Most people stop at physical gold and silver. They think that that's the whole opportunity, and it's not. That's just the surface level. There's another layer where the leverage really lives: miners. At $2,000 gold, a lot of these companies were barely surviving. Margins were tight, cash flow was limited, but at $4,500 gold, they're generating massive cash flow. And that's a whole different game. And this is what most people can't see. But let me be very clear. Miners are not a buy and forget it asset. They're like holding a lit match. Powerful, but temporary. You have to know when to hold them and when you need to let them go. Point number 7, clarity actually reduces risk. And this brings us full circle because risk doesn't come from volatility. It comes from not understanding what's happening. Right now, we're not guessing. We can see the inflation. We see the policy response options. We see the global shifts. This isn't confusion. It's as clear as day. When you have clarity, volatility feels very different. So no, gold and silver aren't less safe. They're more important than ever. But if you're still treating them like a safety blanket, you're going to miss what they're becoming. In the comments section, have you been buying the dip? If so, what have you been buying? Do you still see gold as protection, or do you start to see it now as an opportunity? Or you can simply put an A plus in the comments if you love stacking, if you want to show me some love, or if you just want everyone to know that you always stack smarter and never stop learning.